Hi, my name is Nell Stevenson, and today I'm going to show you how to make one of my favorite dishes, which is my signature raw kale Paleoista salad. Here we have organic green curly kale, organic navel orange, a little bit of dried goji berries that we're going to sprinkle on for some extra antioxidants, cold pressed extra virgin olive oil, black pepper, kelp, which is something to use instead of sea salt to provide a great source of iodine, which helps balance out the sulfur in the kale to help promote a healthy thyroid. And then we have allicin-rich garlic and red onion. Now we're going to talk about something which is really the most important part of this whole dish, which is preparing and massaging the kale. In order to prepare it, no knives needed. You can cut it if you want, but I prefer just to rip. Just take the stem and pull it right out. The stems are not inedible, contrary to what a lot of people think, but for purposes of a raw kale salad, I prefer not to use them. So now what we're going to do, now that we've removed the stems, we're actually going to go ahead and literally massage the kale. And sometimes people joke that the kale will be more relaxed after this. I don't know. But it mechanically breaks down the kale so that this, in addition to the addition of the citric acid that we're going to be adding to it, will actually lend itself to creating a much more tender dish compared to what you might picture when you see a bunch of kale at your grocery store or at the farmer's market. So here we have our massaged kale, which has been rinsed thoroughly, squeezed out so there's no extra water in the bottom of the bowl. And now we're actually going to continue massaging the kale, and all we're going to do is add the other ingredients right in on top of it. Let's give it a nice dousing of olive oil. Throw in the chopped red onion, and again, don't worry about how finely or how coarsely it's chopped. It's completely personal preference. Some people actually prefer to take the olive oil in a food processor with the garlic and onions and make more of a dressing. That's fine too. It really doesn't matter. It's just up to whatever you prefer. We're going to add a little bit of this kelp that I mentioned earlier instead of salt, again to provide some iodine. Great source of iodine. Much better for you than adding iodized salt. Some fresh black pepper. I'm going to throw in just a handful of dried goji berries. We do not want to overdo the goji berries because any dried food is pretty high in sugar, but just a handful is nice to balance it out. And then we're just going to use orange, where you might traditionally have used any kind of vinegar. Instead of using vinegar on the paleo diet, we use citrus. So we're going to cut off the very ends, maybe a couple extra pieces too to use as a garnish. Leave those off to the side. And then, this is kind of the fun part, just going to squeeze the citrus right into that. Don't worry about if pieces of the actual zest get into it. The more juice you get, the better. And that also will, not only will it impart a little bit of a nice sweet flavor, but by having the vitamin C with the iron that you're going to get in the kale, you're actually going to quadruple the amount of the iron that you're going to absorb. So we squeeze the juice on, and then once that's in there, again, we've already got the garlic and the onion, the olive oil, the gojis, the pepper, and the kelp. We just give it another quick little massage. And one tip is that this salad is actually quite nice to make the day before. Put it in the fridge, mix it up, and give it a couple more rounds of massage. And by the time your guests eat it, they won't believe it's raw. And here we have the finished product. Have it now, have it tomorrow. Add some of your favorite protein, maybe some wild salmon or some grass-fed flank. Any meal, any time of the day, your choice. Enjoy. Thanks for watching.